Hello there everyone! You join me, Derek Thunderstorm, up here in the commentator's booth, which looks suspiciously like the background of every other video on this channel, but I assure you, it is its own thing. For this is a first of its kind. You join me here for something the world has never seen before. The first ever. It's not back there. I don't know why I looked over there. It isn't there. The world's first Coaster Clash. And I'm down here in the corner to show you how it works. Behold, the bracket, which is a not very dramatic name. This right here is the 16 parks that will be competing to win the Coaster Clash. But first, before we get into any rules, let's meet our competitors. The Ghost of Oakwood, Adventure Island, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, Alton Towers, Fantasy Island, Lightwater Valley, Hortons Park, Chessington, World of Adventures, Drayton Manor, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, Flamingo Land, Thorpe Park, Gulliver's World, West Midlands Safari Park, Pleasurewood Hills, and Legoland Windsor Resort. And now that you've met the teams, let's get into how it works. Welcome to the arena. This is where we will be doing our fighting. As you can see, it's made up of 4 pieces. The left spin wheel, the right spin wheel, the left RCDB page, and you would never guess it, the right RCDB page. I will now demonstrate how this works with our first competition. And here we are. First things first, as you can see, we have a park's full roller coaster lineup listed on these wheels, as well as the park's page open on RCDB. If I open not OBS, but I open the categories, as you can see, the park's full coaster lineup will be in play, and they'll be competing in these 6 categories. Each park will select one coaster at random to compete in that category. So, for example, height. Let's do not a practice round, this is actually the beginning of round 1. So, fighting for the category of height, who does Oakwood send in? They have sent in Crocodile Coaster, a roller coaster I know nothing about. And next up, who will be competing for Adventure Island for height? The best pick here would probably be Rage, although Mighty Mini Mega might be winning this one. Let's jump to the stats. I'm going to have to do a little bit of guesswork here, and looking at the photos, I mean, I'm not one to make assumptions, but I'm going to say Mighty Mini Mega is taller on this one. So, the winner of the height category is Adventure Island, which means they have won 1 out of 5. It's the first to 3, so who knows who could win it. Next, we have Speed. Oakwood is sending in Speed No Limits, funnily enough. That is a strong pick from Oakwood there. And to be honest, I don't think Adventure Island has anything that could beat Speed No Limits on speed. But they're going to try their darndest. Oh, they've sent in Rage. It's a battle of the Eurofighters down here, ladies and gentlemen. However, I fear we can only have one winner, and it's going to be fairly obvious. Clocking in at 59 miles per hour to Rage's 43, Oakwood has won the speed category. Anyway, next up we have lowest height restriction, which was put in to give the family coasters a chance. Because frankly, it's unfair if it's all big coasters. So, since their full lineup must be considered, a family coaster is optimal to send in for this round. However, will the parks do that? Let's find out. Oakwood has sent in Speed No Limits, and Adventure Island has sent in Mighty Mini Mega. Let me do some research and I'll come back to you with the results. And we're back! I've done my research and I found out Mighty Mini Mega has a 100 centimeter height restriction minimum. Speed No Limits, when it was still with us, had 1.25, which means lowest height restriction goes to, who was it? Adventure Island, I remember. So, our next category, inversions. Now, I do believe both parks are evenly matched here, as they only have one inverting coaster. So this is big, high space for a tie here. Unless one park can pull an absolutely spectacular move and hit us with an inversion-based coaster. Ooh, Oakwood has missed. They've both missed! Neither of these coasters feature inversions. That's a tie! Both parks are fighting for their lives to stay in this competition. However, only one can win, and that is going to be on ride duration. Oakwood will be sending in Treetops Coaster, and Adventure Island is sending in Green Scream. These are very, very evenly matched. Let me go find out. Would you look at that? It suddenly changed the track length, because ride duration is such a hard thing to track, I just could not find the results I was looking for. So, it's now track length, and Green Scream clocks in 1,181 feet of track. However, Treetops pulls in, where is it? 1,182. Are you kidding me? Hang on a minute, no, this can't be right. They are both exactly the same, except wait a minute, hang on. I don't believe it. I don't know if it's just because they're tracking them differently. However, Treetops appears to have won by 0.1 feet. And we cannot go into the tiebreaker. This must be a win for Oakwood. Wait, no, this does take us into the tiebreaker. I'm wrong. Because that is a win for Oakwood there. Taking us into the tiebreaker. My personal opinion. That's right, me, Derek Thunderstorm. That's being between, who are they going to pick? It's personal opinion, so they're going to want to send in their best of the best. Oakwood is sending in Speed No Limits. Oh, Adventure Island has fumbled it. They've sent in Mighty Mini Mega. It's going to be Speed No Limits. That means this round goes to Oakwood. This is truly spectacular. Which means Oakwood moves forward in the competition and Adventure Island is left in the dust. Next round! And here we are in round 2. And you know what? I smell a massacre in the air. Because we have Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach versus Alton Towers. So here we go. Our first category is height, which, to be fair to Great Yarmouth, is probably where they're going to have Alton Towers beat. So, for height, Bluey in an unexpected move. And Great Yarmouth is sending in Rollercoaster. We don't even have to look. It's so clear. Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach has actually won one. Next up, we have Speed. What is Alton Towers doing? They're throwing. They're throwing the game already. Or they're just getting cocky. They're throwing in their weak little coasters to give Great Yarmouth a feeling of chance before they tear it away with this next round. Alton Towers is sending in Nemesis Reborn, and Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, they're sending in Family Star. Next up, lowest height restriction. So, lowest height restriction, we have Rita and Whirlwind. So this is another point to Great Yarmouth, actually. I don't believe it. They could actually win this. They are in a very good position. They just have to win one more round. Who are they sending in for inversions? Alton Towers sends in Spinball Whizzer. And wait, hang on. It wouldn't matter anyway. That is a tie on the inversions front. What is Alton Towers doing? Next up, track length. This is actually exciting. There's so much going on. Track length. Who are they sending in? Alton Towers are sending in Runaway Mine Train. Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach. Wait, no! It's a shocking last minute change. They sent in the Smiler. They're pulling out all the stops now. They've gotten a bit scared. They don't want to lose. The Smiler is obviously slightly longer than Whirlwind, so the Smiler wins this one, which puts each one at 2, which brings it down to the tiebreaker. And I think to win this one, Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach are going to have to pull out Rollercoaster, and Alton Towers are going to have to give us a stinker of a ride. Who are Great Yarmouth sending in? If it's not Rollercoaster, they may have lost. They've sent in Rollercoaster! They're bringing out the big guns! What are Alton Towers going to respond with? The tension is amazing! Alton Towers send in Galactica! I'm going to have to refer to my rankings for this. Please hold. Everyone, stay in your seats. Alton Towers might actually be out of the competition round 1. Let me go to my rankings to see what I put higher. And we have the results. At 26th in my rankings is Rollercoaster at Great Yarmouth. And Galactica sits at 23. Alton Towers barely pulled through to the next round. Oh wow, that was what were Alton Towers doing? They were playing a dangerous game there. They were toying with Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach, and they very nearly threw the whole thing away. Oh, the tension! It's ridiculous. And here we go. For round 3 we are on now. Forgive me, with the knowledge that I'm going to be doing this for the next hour, I have slightly toned my voice down. However, let's go straight into it. For height, who are they sending in? Fantasy Island could just wipe them out if they keep sending in their big coasters, and it looks like they will. They're starting off with Odyssey versus Ladybird. So the first round goes to Fantasy Island. Speed! Next round is speed. Can Fantasy Island just keep sending in their same big coaster? No! They're doing something else. Family Roller Coaster versus Spinning Racer. 2 roller coasters I have not been on, so I know nothing about. Speed of 37. Oh, it's against a Wacky Worm. I didn't even know that was a Wacky Worm. It's so obviously going to Spinning Racer. Hello, OBS. That's not how I wanted to open. Speed is going to Lightwater Valley. Both parks do have a Wacky Worm in play, and we know that those are a bit temperamental in the statistics. So, lowest height restriction. And they fumbled it. It's Caterpillar versus Odyssey. Caterpillar is their Wacky Worm. They made the statistically correct move. And so I'm going to assume out of the 2, Odyssey does not win that one. So, another round goes to Lightwater Valley. Next up, for inversions. They've sent in Jellykins. It's a tie on the inversions round. Have we had an inversions round that didn't tie? I don't remember. Next up is track length. Who are they sending in for track length? Oh, it could trick over to Millennium. Nope, it's Jellykins versus Caterpillar. Oh dear, I'm going to have to find this one out, aren't I? Because Jellykins is a tiny, tiny little ride, but so is Caterpillar. Okay, give me like 10 minutes, I need to go find this out now. Okay, you join me here. I have been searching for a little while, and I have not found a concrete answer for either of them. So, I am unfortunately going to have to do the unthinkable. Go off of the AI overview. I know. I'm going to have to go off of what this silly little robot knows. So, allegedly, Jellykins has a track length of 335 feet. However, Wacky Worms are a bit funnier, because there is no way to know specifically which one the track length is. So the one that they have at Lightwater Valley is made by DPV Rides, someone I have never heard of. And apparently, according to the robot, it's 335 to 452 feet. I don't know which one they have. For now, we'll call this one a tie, which does mean we have... I didn't really plan this ahead of time, but Fantasy Island are going to have to somehow win 2, and they can't. Which means I think, by default, this goes to Lightwater Valley, since Fantasy Island have trapped themselves in a corner, and they actually just cannot win. Congratulations, Lightwater Valley. Somehow, you pulled through and you beat Fantasy Island. You move on to the next round. Speaking of, next matchup. And here we are at the next round. Paulton's Park versus Chessington World of Adventures. Let's waste no time and get straight into it. Paulton's Park sends in Storm Chaser. And Chessington responds with Chase's Mountain Mission. This is not one we have to look at the stats for. It immediately goes to Paulton's Park. A great start for them, as it always is. Everything is great with Paulton's Park, but a great start nonetheless. Next up, speed. It's Dino Chase versus Mandrill Mayhem. I need to go learn what Dino Chase is. Okay, I've looked. That's not winning. That is not beating Mandrill Mayhem. Mandrill Mayhem mentioned! Biggest Mandrill Mayhem fan over here. We love Mandrill Mayhem. No, not Mandrill. That's not who won. Chessington won. Chessington have won the speed round. Next, lowest height restriction. We have Storm Chaser, a risky pick, versus Chase's Mountain Mission. Let me go find out what those height restrictions are. 1 minute. And I'm back. It was a close one, but Chase's Mountain Mission is 0.9 meters and Storm Chaser is 1 meter. They did surprisingly well there, however it goes to Chessington on that one. Next up, inversions. Each park only has one coaster representing them in inversions, so we'll have to see if they send them in. Velociraptor. And Chessington is responding with Chase's Mountain Mission. That's another tie. One of these days, we will get an actual winner in the inversion category. Next up, track length. It's looking like it's going to be Raven versus Vampire. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm immediately going to say Vampire on this one. However, we're nothing but if not thorough. So let's go chase those stats. Let's chase them down. Let's find those stats. 1,700 feet. 1,400 feet, sorry, for Raven. And 2,200 feet for Vampire. Chessington have won this round. Congratulations, Chessington. You've beaten Paulton's Park. I hope you're happy with yourselves. Moving on, we've completed the left side of the board, and now on to the right. Next round. And here we are. I'm back. I've refilled my water thing because, unbelievably, for me, Derek Thunderstorm, even just speaking, I can feel it's going to do my voice in like 10 minutes. So, we're going to get a wriggle on for Drayton Manor versus Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Of course, Blackpool Pleasure Beach is currently suffering from a few less coasters than usual. Partially because Steeplechase has been consumed into one big coaster, because I'm not doing 3. That's unfair to give it 3, even though technically those are 3 different roller coasters, and for some mysterious reason I can't possibly think of why, Big Dipper could not show up to the competition today, because technically it falls under standing but not operating. First round is height. Who will they send in? Because Drayton Manor are sending in the wave for height. Pleasure Beach are not playing around. They've come here to win. They've sent in the big one. Of course, as our second tallest roller coaster, it's no surprise who's won this one. It's Pleasure Beach. No, that's not how you spell it. No, that's still not how you spell it. That's still not how you spell it. But it's Pleasure Beach. They are playing to win. They're not messing around. That attitude will get them through to the finals. Moving on. For speed, Pleasure Beach is bringing out Infusion against the Wave. Infusion hits a speed of 49.7 miles per hour, and the Wave hits 53. It goes to Drayton Manor. Next up, lowest height restriction. Nickelodeon Streak seemingly versus Gold Rush. 2 coasters I don't know the height restrictions of. Let me check. Okay, and after my research, I've had to use Blackpool Pleasure Beach's incredibly finicky and silly height restriction system to find out that Nickelodeon Streak is exactly 117 centimeters height restriction, which might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why is it 117 and not 120? That's Blackpool Pleasure Beach for you. Nothing they do makes sense. However, compared to Gold Rush, hello, Drayton Manor. Compared to Gold Rush's 1 meter, Drayton Manor do win the lowest height restriction round. Next up, inversions. And for this round, Blackpool Pleasure Beach will be sending in Avalanche. It's another tie on the inversion round. Will we ever see an inversion round without a tie? Hopefully. Please let there be one without a tie. The track length category. Let's see what they send in. Blackpool Pleasure Beach is bringing in Icon. Compared to Accelerator, I don't have to look. This one goes to Pleasure Beach, which is probably the easiest one to win for Pleasure Beach. However, nothing is guaranteed. So, let's see who they send in. Blackpool Pleasure Beach are bringing us Icon. There's nothing that Drayton Manor can do. It is my, number 4 roller coaster of all time. Icon is winning. Blackpool Pleasure Beach is through to the quarterfinals. Hooray! And our next round takes us to Flamingo Land and Thorpe Park. A riveting competition. Who will win? And so, let's get straight into it. Height. Thorpe Park will be sending in. Obviously, they own the UK's tallest roller coaster, so they could send it in, but they don't. They send in Soar, compared to Sick. Soar and Sick are going head to head. I know that Soar's 100 feet, if I'm right, it is. And Sick stands at 108 feet. The first of this this competition, the first bit goes to Flamingo Land. And who are they sending in? Who are the champions for speed? Oh, never mind. They've won by default. It doesn't matter what Flamingo Land picks. They've picked the UK's fastest roller coaster. The second round goes to Thorpe Park. They are not playing around here. So, lowest height restriction is up next. And who will it be? As they send in Nemesis Inferno versus Hero. Nemesis Inferno is 1.4, and I'm going to have to look into what Hero is. 1 second, and Hero is coming in with a 1.27 meter height restriction, beating out Thorpe Park's 1.4. A second round goes to Flamingo Land. Next up, inversions. The Swarm, a coaster with inversions, versus Velocity. That doesn't have inversions. We have a winner for the inversions round. It goes to Thorpe Park. Oh, finally. Which means the next one decides it all. Who will win? It'll be determined by track length. Hyperia to Hero. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes to Thorpe Park. They're through to the quarterfinals. Next up is Gulliver's World, specifically because it has Antelope and it has the best chance of winning with Antelope, versus West Midlands Safari Park. Let's go! And our next competition takes us to these two small parks, each of which only bringing 3 coasters. However, of course, Gulliver's is going to want Antelope. For pretty much every category, they're going to want Antelope. Their biggest, best, well not best actually, it's the worst roller coaster in the country in my opinion, but their biggest coaster, they're going to want that for all the categories of course. And West Midlands Safari Park, I've never been, I have no idea what their coasters are like. So, we're going to have to see what happens. Gulliver's does of course have a wacky worm in play, which could be quite dangerous for them, but let's waste no more time and get straight into it. Gulliver's, Antelope, they're wishing for Antelope, they're not going to do it, they're sending in, oh, it's very close. Grand Prix Racers versus Monkey Mayhem. What is Monkey Mayhem? Oh, they're losing. That thing is significantly bigger, I think. There's no stats for Grand Prix Racers. However, I mean, just looking at the two of them, Monkey Mayhem wins this one. That one goes to the West Midlands Safari Park. Speed is coming up next. Antelope! They've picked Antelope, finally. Antelope, Monkey Mayhem is back. Antelope versus Monkey Mayhem. Okay, Monkey Mayhem hits a speed of 30 miles per hour, approximately. Oh, it's only 30 feet tall. Oh dear. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into this, aren't I? Hold. Okay, I can't find a speed for Antelope. However, given the nature of the ride and that Monkey Mayhem spends more time up top and it's a wild mouth so it doesn't have many big drops, I'm going to say Antelope is going to win this one. You can blame me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but we'll see. Lowest height restriction is up next. It's going to be Grand Prix Racers versus Rhino Coaster. And I'm back with the results. Rhino Roller Coaster is 1.2 meters tall, although 1 meter if accompanied, so if it's a tie, that can be considered. And Grand Prix Racers sits at 1.2 or 1 if you're accompanied. It's a tie. Okay, we have a tie going for lowest height restriction. The next category, which is inversions. Should I just put it down as a tie? They're not. No, none of them has inversions. It's a tie. So next up is track length, and I believe it's whoever wins this one locks the other one out of a win. Antelope versus African Big Apple. I'm going to take a wild guess and say African Big Apple is a it's a wacky worm versus Antelope. So we're going to say Antelope wins that one. So against all odds, Gulliver's actually plows on through. Next up is Pleasurewood Hills and Legoland Windsor. And here we are again for the final battle of round 1. I promise it's nearly over. We're nearly to the exciting bit because we have Pleasurewood Hills versus Legoland Windsor. Let's just get straight into it for height. Pleasurewood Hills, they are starting out strong. They're sending in Wipeout, which is actually supposed to be Wipeout, but it's too late to change it now. Wipeout versus Dragon. And actually, that's a close one. Let's see. Who wins on height? Can either of these open, please? Hello? We are facing technical issues, it would appear. No, we're not. We're back. Well, great. Dragon does not have any stats listed. Wipeout stands at 116 feet, which means I now need to go and find that stat myself. Just a minute. You know what? I give up. I can't find out. I think it just goes to Wipeout. I'm going to change that, don't worry. That goes to Pleasurewood. I don't know. You have to forgive me. The stats on height is just nowhere. You cannot find the stats on height. So, let's just move on to speed, which will go to Express versus Minifigure Speedway. Let's see what they have. Express hits the speed of 26 miles per hour. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, who's going to win? It's Minifigure Speedway, because it comes in at 34 miles per hour, beating out Pleasurewood. Legoland wins speed. Next up is lowest height restriction. Family Coaster versus Duplo Dino Coaster. Hang on a minute. Let me sit in my chair. Let me lock in a second. This is actually a battle for the ages here, because I'm led to believe Family Coaster is going to be a wacky worm. How did I know? Duplo Dino Coaster. It's not going to stay in here. Why am I looking here? Let me go find out. And here we are. I haven't actually looked this time. So we have 1 meter height restriction for... Wait, it's not Family Coaster anymore, it's Red Apple Run? What? That's ridiculous. 1 meter for Red Apple Run. And Duplo Dino Coaster, a drum roll please, 0.9! Duplo Dino Coaster wins the lowest height restriction, giving it, I've written that wrong, that's Legoland. Giving it to Legoland. However, Inversions is an immediate... Oh no, wait, no, it's not an immediate tie. I forgot they have Wipeout. If they roll Wipeout here, they're still in the game. If not, it's a tie. They have not. So, it's a tie for the Inversions round. Once again, how does this keep happening? Next, okay, which brings it down to track length. If Pleasurewood Hills win this, they go to the tiebreaker. If not, Legoland are in the lead. So, let's see who wins track length. We have Marble Madness versus Minifigure Speedway. This is going to have to be another one I look up, isn't it? We actually have a number. 1,213 feet. Minifigure Speedway, however, it's not listed on here, so I'm going to have to go find it. Yeah, because I love doing that. Okay, and after some intense research, I found out it is 843 feet long, approximately, giving this one to Pleasurewood Hills. They're still in it, which brings us down to my personal opinion. Of course, it's going to be a little bit difficult, for I have not been to Pleasurewood Hills. However, if they bring out Wipeout, they might stand a chance. If not, they might not. Oh, they've missed. They've gone to Barnyard Whirl against Dragon's Apprentice. Actually, it appears to be a spinning Wild Mouse coaster. Would I find that more thrilling than Dragon's Apprentice? Maybe, actually. We're going to have to go to POVs. Please hold, we're going to the POVs. Okay, I'm back. And as much as I would love to send Legoland through, as I have, of course, have been there, it's going to have to go to Pleasurewood Hills. I think Barnyard World just looks a little bit more exciting than Dragon's Apprentice. We're through the first round! That only took... I'm not wearing a watch. So, we can have a little break here as we see who's in for the quarterfinals. Our competitors for the quarterfinals are the Ghost of Oakwood versus Alton Towers, Lightwater Valley versus Chesington, Blackpool Pleasure Beach versus Thorpe Park, and Gulliver's World versus Pleasurewood Hills. It's truly a riveting competition. Who could have seen this coming? The bigger parks have come out on top. So, I'll see you in the quarterfinals, not the semi-finals, the quarterfinal. But before we get there, there's something I must address. This tie is getting on my nerves. That's right, I'm ditching my snazzy orange tie, and I need to breathe. Oh, that's better. Okay, I'm going slightly unprofessional for the quarterfinals, but forgive me, I could not breathe for that entire round. So, let's move on now to the quarterfinals. And here we are in the quarterfinals, where all the little family parks, aside from Gulliver's for some reason, are now out of our way. Let's get into the actual good stuff, the big parks going head to head. And first, on height, the one place where Alton Towers probably can't win. Will they throw the game again? They were playing a bit silly last time, however, hopefully they're going to pull it together. And they have! I don't even need to look. I have a good degree of confidence. Okay, fine, I'm going to look at what is Crocodile Coaster? I've already looked at this one, I knew what that was! Yes, no, it's no secret there. Alton Towers are winning on height, which is something I never thought I'd say. Will Oakwood be really funny and pull out speed again? Maybe. No, they've gone past it. They've gone to Treetops. And Alton Towers, they've matched that and they've gone to Runaway Mine Train. We're gonna have to go to the stats. Are you kidding me? They hit the exact same speed apparently. Great! That's just wonderful. That's a tie on speed. I don't like when we have a tie in this competition. It's very annoying. Next up is lowest height restriction, Megaphobia. So it's 1.4 versus, let's find out what the Megaphobia height restriction was. I'm back! It was 1.2, which gives this one to Oakwood. Oakwoof. It's an even match. So next up, they're playing for Inversions. Oh no! It's not looking great for Oakwood on this one. Unless it is, because that's another tie. Great, it's a tie for Inversions once again. Whoever wins this next one wins it all, it appears. So it's track length. Let's see what happens. Creepy Crawler. And Alton Towers is bringing back Wicker Man. So let's see what happens. And to the surprise of nobody, Wicker Man has won the length competition, which pushes Alton Towers through to the semi-finals. Who would have guessed? Our biggest theme park is doing quite well. Next up is Lightwater Valley versus Chessington. And so, let's head on to Lightwater Valley versus Chessington. Let's see what they're going to do. We have Caterpillar versus Dragon's Fury on height. I don't need to look. Caterpillar, I believe, is still the wacky worm. So Chessington wins here. Now, of course, the judge must remain impartial. But I do not believe in Lightwater Valley whatsoever here. If they still had the ultimates, they might stand a chance. But somebody went and tore that whole thing down. And then every other big ride in the park. So what's the point? Let's spin it again. Come on, Chessington. I'm not going to hide it anymore. Come on, Chessington. You have Mandrill Mayhem. And I love Mandrill Mayhem. Mandrill Mayhem! There it is. It's Caterpillar versus Mandrill Mayhem on speed. That's a wacky worm again. It's going to Chessington. Lowest height restriction? Maybe. Who knows? Lightwater Valley can maybe pull through. But I hope they don't. Because it's Dragon's Fury versus Spinning Racer. Both actually the same ride model. Let's see what their height restrictions are. To the stats! And here we are. 1.2 meters for Spinning Racer. And Dragon's Fury is 1.2. It's a tie in the inversions round. Which of course is going to be a tie, because when isn't it a tie? Mandrill Mayhem! Mandrill Mayhem's going to pull through and win the inversion round! Let's go, Chessington! Mandrill Mayhem pulled through! Oh, I love Mandrill Mayhem! Fantastic! It's Chessington through to the semi-finals. Which brings us to next up, Blackpool Pleasure Beach versus Thorpe Park. Actually quite an even match. Let's go! And here we are. As previously mentioned, quite an even match I'd say between Blackpool Pleasure Beach and Thorpe Park. Both have big coasters, both have small coasters, both have record breakers, both have big coasters, both have roller coasters is the point. So, let's see what happens. For our first category, height. Of course, both held the record. However, Walking Dead, Thorpe Park seems to be playing them around here, picking Walking Dead. No, it did not stand a chance there. So, next up is speed. Now, Thorpe Park have had this record twice. They took their own record for this. So I'd be surprised if they lost. Although, of course, it's completely random, so nobody actually knows. And it's going between Revolution and the Swarm. It's a tough one. This is actually, I don't know here. One, of course, features a launch, and one doesn't. So it's 45 miles per hour there for Revolution. And the Swarm clocks in at 59. Thorpe Park takes the second category. The lowest height restriction. And this is where Thorpe Park might suffer. Being a primarily thrill-focused park, it's a tough one. It goes to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And now, where Thorpe Park will shine though, being a big thrill-based park, is the inversions category. And it's another zero inversion tie. So, let's see what happens. Thorpe Park need to win track length here, or else they are done for. Unfortunately, Blackpool Pleasure Beach has a lot of long roller coasters. So, we'll see what happens. Icon! Oh wait, it could tick over. They're sending in Infusion versus Colossus. This actually seems to be quite an even match. Infusion stands at 2,260 feet. Colossus, however, is 2,700 feet. It just barely goes to Thorpe Park. They're hanging in there, which takes it to my personal opinion. Thorpe Park needs to pull out something big here. Something really big. Something 236 feet big. Oh wow, actually that's a tough one. Blackpool Pleasure Beach have pulled out Steeplechase. Thorpe Park have brought us Walking Dead. And after thinking about it, I think Steeplechase is fun, but it's too rough, too slow, too tame to beat out Walking Dead. So, it's gonna go to Thorpe Park. Hooray! They're through to the semi-finals. Which brings us down to the two outliers of the group here. Of course, we have three of the big Merlin parks. However, here we have Gulliver's World and Pleasurewood Hills of all things coming through. We'll see what happens. Let's get to it. Which brings us to Gulliver's World versus Pleasurewood Hills. And it is going to be a truly otherworldly battle. We have Gulliver's, where their biggest ride is 30 feet tall, and Pleasurewood Hills, who I know nothing about pretty much because I've never been there. So, let's go. Gulliver's is bringing out the big guns, hopefully with Antelope, and they are! Who could have seen that coming? And Pleasurewood Hills have responded with Wipeout. We don't need to look. Pleasurewood Hills wins on height. Let's move straight on to speed. We've got no time to waste. We've got to get to those finals. It's Grand Prix Racers versus... Is it going to be Wipeout again by any chance? No! Grand Prix Racers versus Marble Madness. There's no way to tell from here, although just look at them. Obviously, Marble Madness is going to be faster. So, we give it once again to Pleasurewood Hills. And they're going to play their Wacky Worm. It's over. Wait, no, it's not actually. I lied. It's the lowest height restriction round. So, I need to go find out what these are. Please hold. And to the absolute surprise of nobody, the Wriggler obviously has a lower height restriction, being a Wacky Worm compared to a big Vekoma Boomerang. So, to be fair, one category does go to Gulliver's. So, let's see what happens. And it's a tie. Who could have guessed it's a tie for the inversion round? Which means Pleasurewood Hills, come on, pull it back here. You need to win this one. Track length. Okay, Gulliver's are playing smarter, they're picking Antelope. And Pleasurewood Hills are picking Marble Madness. Let's go see if we can get any stats on this. Okay, you want to know what's really fun? The exact strength length of the Antelope wooden roller coaster at Gulliver's World is not officially published in public databases. We actually don't know. So, it's going to have to be flip of a coin. Next best thing we've got. Heads will be Gulliver's, tails will be the other one. Who is it? Pleasurewood Hills. Let's go. I've dropped that coin. It's tails. That goes to Pleasurewood Hills, which means they win. Then they go through to the semi-finals. I wonder if they're going to beat Thorpe Park. Who knows? Anyway, on to the semi-finals. And so, as the end draws near, let's meet our semi-finalists. Alton Towers versus Chessington World of Adventures, and Thorpe Park versus Pleasurewood Hills. We have no idea who's going to win. It truly is a mystery for the ages. However, I feel the occasion is dramatic enough to bring back the orange tie. I don't remember how to do it, so I'm just going to... yeah, that will... I can wear... Oh, look at that. That's lovely. I'll wear it like that. That'll do. That's good enough for me. We're half bringing back the lovely, bright orange tie for the semi-finals. I look like I work on an airplane. Look at me. Let's go to the semi-finals. And so, let's kick off the semi-finals with Alton Towers versus Chessington. Truly a battle for the ages. We may never know who's going to win. So, let's just get straight into it with height. And it's Wickerman versus Dragon's Fury. One I'm going to have to check because I do not know that one, I'm afraid. Wickerman stands at... nothing, apparently. Thank you, RTDB. That's very helpful. You've got to give me the bank angle, but not the height. We'll have to go with the drop then. 72 feet, we'll say. And Dragon's Fury stands at 50 feet. Do I think that's kind of cheating? Maybe. But, oh, hang on a second. That is a really interesting photo. Look at that. Oh, it's gone. Hold on a second. Let's get on. That is a very interesting photo, actually. Fair play. They get good photos. But that one goes to Alton Towers. Who are you? Invading my competition. Get out of it, you lot. Where Alton Towers has now won the height category. However, speed is still to be considered. So, let's see. Runaway Mine Train versus Vampire. This is going to be a close one. Runaway Mine Train hits 22 miles per hour. And Vampire, 45, that's more than I thought it would be. Okay, that one very easily goes to Chessington then. Okay, it's still an even matchup. However, everything can change with this round. Lowest height restriction. Alton Towers going to want to pull out anything but the Smiler. Why did you do that? Dragon's Fury is of course going to win that one, because why would you do that? Alton Towers is actually throwing right now. They seem to love doing that. Hopefully they can bring it back like they did back in the first round. They seem to love just giving the enemy the opportunity to maybe prevail, you know, think they're going to win, and then they tear it all apart. As they're hopefully going to here with inversions. Alton Towers could bring this back here if they utilise, you know, their one big inversion-based coaster at all. They have! They've won instantly. That is fantastic. Fair play, Alton Towers. I'm not biased. Sorry, it sounds a lot like I'm congratulating Alton Towers. I'm not. That was just a very good move. You know, using their one big inversion-based coaster. Good move from them. 14 is quite hard to beat, which means we're tied up, leading us into track length. Alton Towers has a lot of long coasters, and they've picked one here. Oh, hang on a minute. Dragon's Fury's got a lot to it. Maybe even more than Galactica. We're going to have to go to the stats for this one. Please brace yourself. Galactica stands at 2,755 feet. And Dragon's Fury... Where have I gone? Whoa there. Where am I? There we go. Dragon's Fury stands at 1,700 feet. It goes to Alton Towers. They're through to the final. Who could have seen that coming? Not me. Next up is Thorpe Park versus Pleasurewood Hills. Can we just put Thorpe Park there already? It's fairly plain and simple. I think Thorpe Park are going to win here. Unless they don't. So, we're gonna have to see what happens. On to this round! And now, for a round that's going to be worth every second it takes, we've got Thorpe Park versus Pleasurewood Hills. And let's waste no time and get straight into the height category. And Thorpe Park are bringing out the Swarm. I don't think they're going to beat that. There's unbelievably, height goes to Thorpe Park. Speed. I wonder who's going to win. Thorpe Park are bringing to the table the Swarm again against Barnyard Whirl. We don't even need to check. Thorpe Park wins that one too. Lowest height restriction 1.4 versus Barnyard Whirl. Oh, hang on, wait. They've pulled they pulled a quick one on me there, and it's Flying Fish versus Barnyard Whirl. Let's go find out what those height restrictions are. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. Pleasurewood Hills don't actually have Barnyard Whirl on their website yet. Great job, Pleasurewood Hills. You are just unbeatable. So we're going to have to go to a similar ride, which is over in Great Yarmouth, and it's Family Star. That's right, Great Yarmouth came back. You didn't see that coming, did you? Let's go find out what Family Star sits at. Hello again, Blackpool Coast Beach. You didn't think we'd be back. 1.3 to their... No, it's not you. Is it you? Who is it? Who's battling? Oh, yes, I remember. Sorry, I got confused then. So it's 1.3 to Flying Fish's 1.1. Thorpe Park win 3 in a row there and are through to the final. Golly gosh, who could have seen this coming? The final is Alton Towers versus Thorpe Park. You couldn't write this, except you could because it's very easy to write because it's the obvious answer. Which brings us here to the final. As of course the tie configuration has changed again. I don't really know what to call this one, but here we are in the final. I didn't think we'd be here really. I mean, I'm lying, of course. I knew it was going to be Alton Towers and Thorpe Park. Of course it would be. Of course they would be the kind of parks to pull through this. Although I can't lie, I did believe for a second that we could see like Gulliver's in the final for some reason. But no, of course this competition had to go and end predictably. Ugh. Anyway, let's waste no more time and get into it. Thorpe Park versus Alton Towers in the ultimate coaster clash battle of their full ride lineup. Let's go for height. And Thorpe Park will be bringing... or stealth, actually. They're going to be bringing stealth. And Alton Towers is once again playing around, being silly with Octonauts. Height goes to Thorpe Park. Who could have seen that coming? I think we're in for a thrashing here if Alton Towers does not get their acts together and work hard on this one. So, on to speed. And you know, we're going to go slow. We're going to go slow this time. Just for funsies. Speed. Thorpe Park. Oh, they should be returning the favour and bringing Walking Dead. And Alton Towers. They're out here with Bluey, of all things. They've just given that one away again. They can't be doing this again, surely. Alton Towers is known for their silliness in this competition and messing around in every given opportunity and then bringing it back at the end. Is that going to happen again here? I don't know. Stop asking me. Now on to lowest height restriction. Oh, I'm terrified. Thorpe Park are bringing out 1.4. Alton Towers are locking in. They're bringing it back. They win that one with Runaway Mine Train, which of course has a lower height restriction than Soar. The tension is unbearable on the track tonight as we head into inversions. Could Alton Towers just pull a quick one on us all, trick us all again, make us think they're throwing it all away when in fact they're not. I don't know, we'll have to see. Because we have inversions. Thorpe Park have brought out flying fish. Alton Towers bring the smiler! And points to Alton Towers. You already know they were lying the whole time. It was all a trick, as it always is. They're actually playing to win. It's all come down to this. One final round. Track length. Thorpe Park are bringing to the table. They've brought Nemesis Inferno for their track length. A solid pick. Alton Towers, are you going to be serious? Or are you going to mess us around again? Alton Towers for track length. They've thrown it away. They had the win. And they've thrown it away. Let's do one final stat check, although I don't think it'll be worth our time. I don't believe it. Alton Towers had it. They had the smiler one section away on the wheel. Let's go back to that wheel a second. Look, they had the smiler inches away. And they've thrown it away. There it is, ladies, gentlemen, and all the beans in between. We have our winner. The winner of the Coaster Clash is Thorpe Park, because Alton Towers could not be serious for 5 minutes. Thank you all for watching. Our trophy will go to Thorpe Park, as it's all over here. Thank you for watching. Who knows, I, Derek Thunderstorm, may return in the next Coaster Clash. Thank you for watching, and goodbye all!